Hey guys, it's Joe here with RentKit. I'm back. It's been a while since we posted a video, so I apologize for that. I've had a busy summer. Johnny and I have been working really hard on the software, putting in a ton of hours, creating new features. I've also been away for a little bit, got married, and so we've been busy. But we're back with video creation here. Hopefully, going to start creating a bunch more videos for you because we just have a ton of stuff that we need to update you guys on. And so hopefully you can keep an eye out for those, and um, and those will be helpful as you kind of continue to improve your workflows with some of the new stuff that we've been coming out with. So today I wanted to talk about sub rentals in the rental industry. I know in my business I did a lot of sub renting. I bootstrapped my rental company, and so I started with just like 10 tables and 100 chairs. And then everything I made, I just reinvested back in the business and bought more and more stuff. But what that meant was a lot of times I would get requests early, especially early on. And even later down the road too, I still continued to do a lot of sub rentals, but especially in the beginning, we did a lot of sub rentals. We'd get requests for stuff that we don't have, and then we partnered with a local party rental company to supplement the inventory that we already had so that we could do bigger orders and make more money and buy more equipment. So I know a lot of you operate that. A lot of you operate like that. Some of you may not do sub rentals, and that's okay. But what I've ran into is if you do some sub rentals, it is difficult if you don't have a really good process and system in place for keeping track of those sub rentals. So what I mean is when you put in a sub rental request, you know you're short on inventory and it's for a specific day and a specific amount of inventory, a specific type of inventory. But you may know, or the person who put in the sub rental request may know when that's supposed to be gathered or picked up or delivered to you guys at the warehouse. But the team who's putting together the inventory in the warehouse, they may not know, and they may just see that, oh, it looks like we're short. What are we doing? And so, how do you communicate that effectively with your team? How do you effectively track the approval process? Like, making sure that your sub rental vendor does in fact have the inventory available for you. And if they do, when is it coming in and when is it going to be ready? How do we get that back to the vendor that we're using? So all of that communication can cause holes in your processes, can slow down your team, and can ultimately lose your money if you don't have a really consistent and reliable proof process to handle that. And so what we've done is we've created a really cool tracking process and outreach process directly within RentKit to help with these sub rental requests. So I'm going to show you how that works today. So let's dive right in here. All right, make myself a little bit smaller. So I'm going to walk you guys through a quick basic process of putting in a sub rental request with a vendor. So the first things first, you do need to have vendors tied to your inventory. So right now I have this Disney Princess Castle #2. I do have vendors tied to it, so I get this little sub rental icon popping up if and when I do go negative on it. Okay, so the way you set that up is actually in your inventory. So if you hop into your inventory and let's find that Disney. There it is. Okay, so all the way down to vendors right here. So you'd first set up your vendors, and those are going to be in admin vendors. Set up your vendors just like you would your venues or trucks or anything like that. You set up a vendor, you give it a name, a company name, email address to contact, phone number, things like that. Then when you have your vendors set up, you can apply those vendors to any inventory items. So you may use specific vendors for specific inventory. I know, I a lot of times I would rent equipment, and for that I had a local, construction or equipment rental company that I worked with if I needed things like a generator, right, or lighting or something like that. But for my general party rental company or general party rental inventory, I'd use a different company. So you can set up those vendors in advance, and then you assign inventories to specific vendors. So I've got a couple of examples here, CT and XYZ company. I've attached those as vendors to this Disney Princess Castle. What that does for me is that when I've got an invoice and I have a day here, the 8th of August, where I only own one of these princess castles, right? But I've now rented 2 out. And it's showing that I'm -1. Now, a few things here, right? I've got substitutes, so I could, look for substitutes. That's a different feature. We might look at that a different day. But just where we do have, linked or associated items that we could substitute. We've also got our linked items here, substitute items here, and then the sub-rental process. Okay, so if I wanted to actually sub-rent this instead of, substituting it for a different bounce house or purchasing it, I could go in here and just click this button. What it does is it pulls up this this area where I can now email or request this sub-rental from a specific vendor. So over here on the left-hand side, I have the number that I'm requesting of that particular product, and then as well as the vendors that are linked to that product. So I can select which one I send a request to. So let's say I do that. It's going to update the email address for that company, right? It's going to auto-populate a subject line for me saying, hey, I would like to request these items. And then it's going to populate a message to that vendor. It's also going to tell the specific dates that I'm looking for this particular item. And so I don't have to do anything. I didn't type anything. I could adjust this message if I want to, but really all I really need to do is just send out this email. It'll go directly to the vendor. Then they can email you back and say, yes, we have it, or no, we don't, right? And then you can go on to your next vendor if they don't, or whatever, continue that process. So this is ready to send out. We just click prepare email and then send it, and they'll get that, and that process starts. Another thing you can do is just log the request. Okay, so for example, you may just decide, hey, I'm going to pick up the phone and call my vendor and see if they've got this. That's what we would do most of the time, right? So I'll call them. Yep, we've got it. Okay, great. Can you hold it for us? Put that on reserve. They say yes. Then all I have to do is just log the request. So when I log the request, what that is going to do is it is going to, okay, so what that's going to do is going to log the request. It immediately tags the order as a sub-rental request. So now from any view, I can see that this is needing, it has a sub-rental on it, right? Meaning like, hey, I've overbooked something and we've got a sub-rental request in for it. Okay, so if I go back to it now, you can see that it's requested and it's pending, meaning I haven't like got approval for this yet. So I sent out an email or a text or something, or maybe put in a phone call and they said, hey, let me check and make sure we've got it. I'll get back to you. So that's still in pending status. If I did get the confirmation over the phone that they have it and that they're going to hold it for me, then I can go through and I can approve it, right? Either all of it or partially. And then once I've done that, now it's approved. Okay. So what that does is it marks that as approved, and then you can fulfill it. So we're basically tracking that process from start to finish all the way through. And then what's cool is in the prepare the items calendar. So this is automatically going to flow into your prep items calendar. So the team in the warehouse, when they're going through and they're pulling inventory, getting it ready to go out for a given day in the future, they're going to see that this is flagged as shortage, right? So this day on the 8th, it's like, oh, we've got an overbooked item here. I wonder what's going on there. So when they click into the day, they're going to see, oh, yep, the Princess Castle, it is overbooked. We have an internal shortage of 1. And oh, but the sub-rental has been requested, approved, and even fulfilled, right? And so that means that they've delivered it to us and it's ready to go. So now I can go out and check it and make sure that it's out there. And if it is, I can go through and complete it on my prep items report. So what's nice is, without even having to send a text message to my warehouse team or my processing team, or even really type up a message to the sub-rental vendor, I was able to just get that request out, get it approved, and everyone in the warehouse knows what's going on with that order and that shortage and the sub-rental request. So that's how that works, guys. It's a really cool, seamless flow process. And I hope that is able to kind of help streamline some of your sub rental inquiries that are coming in.